Okay, YouTube, here we go. I've decided to do some video footage of this game. This is Secrets of Grindea, or Secrets of Grindea. Not sure which is preferred there by the developers. A lot of the names are puns, or word plays, or whatever you want to call them. So this is Startington, because it is your starting town. Yep. So this game just released officially. You may be coming to my channel because you've seen my review of this game. So I'm not going to be focusing on the story for a lot of this. I'm going to be focusing on mechanics, as that is what I do on this channel. Okay, and I'm going to be skipping things like dialogue. So if I can get into my menu here. So you can equip a weapon, a shield, accessories, shoes, hat, armor, mask, or face gear. If you have certain helmets and stuff will take up both of these slots. You can also then style your characters, so you can have them be basically with no helmet, hide helmet type mode. You have quite a few quick slots. These are like a shift button type thing. So you hold down the button and then use the same button across it. So this allows you to have quite a few abilities accessible at any time. One of these will eventually be like a health potion. The shield is very powerful. You definitely do not want to get rid of your shield buttons. I mean, you could, but I wouldn't recommend it. There are a lot of enemies that are very useful to perfect block. I'm going to be a crazy dude and go two-handed right away. The two-handers are very slow, but powerful. This game was in early access for something like 11 years, I think I saw. That's a long time. The game was made by just a handful of people. It is made in the old XNA framework, so has some things related to that still in it. I noticed there's a couple notes in the video settings about XNA. So if you kill things, they will respawn after a while. You can see them respawning here. You get experience for killing things, but the big thing that you get from killing things is their card. Everything has a card. So like the rabbies here, and the slimes will give you a small vacuum for items. So we'll pick them up from farther away. I'm just doing this because I want the early items. A lot of the drops are very low rates. We're talking like 1% or 0.1%. The bigger the enemy, I believe, the higher the rate, so that you don't have to sit there farming for eons to get them. I will probably cut a lot of the farming. I absolutely will cut a lot of the farming out of the videos that I'm doing, as it is meaningless grind. Meaningful grind? I don't know how you want to define that. It can be both. Depends on your preferences. I have a small chance to crit, it looks like. I can't remember how all that works. Give me a second here. Let's pause this. So this is your stats at level whatever 4 here. We'll get a pet later that gives you passive bonuses as you feed it. So we can see that we have attack damage and attack speed. This also increases... Yeah, increases your charge time on attacks. You've got magic damage, cast speed. This is for regular attacks. This is for magical attacks, naturally. So if I was using, and I'm going to be, let's go to this level up here. So here's your one-handed abilities. This is your dodge strike. You kind of dash away at the same time. This is your shadow clone. This only works with your one-handed weapons. Has little ghosts of yourself that attack slightly delayed after you. They just do basic attacks, but they can trigger anything that would normally be triggered on your basic attack, such as crit or status effects. Spirit Slash, kind of like an Omni Slash. I think you're mildly invulnerable for a period on this. And there's always more info here. You can kind of see more info here. A lot of data, a lot of stuff to look at here. So, clarify some stuff. There are charges of these. If you just have the level 1, you get the bronze charge. If you get to like level 5 or something, you get the silver charge. And if you get it all the way to level 10, you get the gold charge. So, for example, the bronze charge is... So you have the quick use. Quick use is just regular attack. Then you have bronze charge. You'll notice I don't have a mouse here. I can't point at things. The base energy is 20. But if you use the bronze charge, it's 20. Or base energy is 15. Bronze charge is 20. Silver charge is 30. And gold charge is 40. So it does become more expensive. However, I was talking about the shield earlier. You absolutely want to use your shield over time because... I want to do this. So we will attach that over here. Oh, it's already attached to something. If I can aim myself here. And the more you charge this up, the more you can control. I don't know what that's about. That's different from the last time I played with that ability. Creates a smash ball, huh? I don't think that was there the last time I used the ability. So, like I said, this game just came out of early access, so they have changed a few things, apparently. I'm not sure when the last time I used that ability was. So we just got an item off the Rabby here. It auto-equipped since we had nothing in the slot. And it gives us an extra 10 crit chance. So we went from 1% crit chance to 11% crit chance there. So, pretty simple. But anyway, I like the baseball bat thing here. The two-hander only. Not sure how to aim this. Just stand, I guess, next to it. There we go. That's neat that they added a little orb ball thing to actually make this stronger. Originally, you did have to just hit the enemies, and that was it. So. I'd like to get the first card here, so that I can show that off happening. Got a hat. It's not very pretty. Just wearing its corpse on my head. You know. Normal things. There is crafting in this game. You're noticing I'm picking up a lot of random things here. So the Rabby Fur will allow me to craft something later. Come on. Give me a card. Give me a card. That is our wand. We can equip that if we wanted to. So to reference mechanics here, the wand is a little different from a normal sword. It will do less damage than a one-handed sword, but it also has a little projectile to it, little magic bolt. I do believe it does more damage in melee range, looks like. Yeah. Looks like it does a little bit more damage if you hit the actual melee attack as well. Bag of money. We will skip all the... Yep. These guys are kind of the clowns of the game. My range is not what I thought it was. So you'll come across these three quite a few times. Oops. That was bad. Impossible. Totally possible. Got experience for just showing up. Then you get to the first area, there's a festival going on. Better go do the thing. And from here, you can get some better equipment. Let's see here. Some of the starting equipment here. We've got a staff. Instead of a big branch, it's a two-handed staff. You see that it gives the magic attack bonus of plus 27 and an attack speed bonus of 10. So it's a little bit faster of attack than, say, the two-handed sword, but it's also weaker. And, you know, helps your spells. So you do have the skills over here, and I haven't done much here. We're just going to do that. There's also all these different magics here, and these various utility spells. So Reaper's Blade creates like a doom effect where it drops a blade from their head. Stasis just kind of pulls an enemy from the fight. Provoke will taunt enemies. I use a lot of the magic barrier. I find this extremely useful. Blink can be useful as well, just getting you out of hot spots. barrier. But notice that these only have 3 levels. These are only silver skill points, whereas in these go all the way to 10. And the 6 through 10 are gold skill points, which you do not gain right away. But I am level 6, so I have 5 silvers into Smash. So 5 points gives me the silver charge, and then I won't be able to get the gold charge for quite a while. Then we have talents. We have 5 talent points we have not assigned here yet. There are a lot of very, very good talents in this game, and it will be, in my opinion, tricky to decide which to do first. And it's not Path of Exile level skill tree here, but there's definitely a lot of skills. We've got, what, 15 there, 15 here, 21 there. So there's like 50 talents that you can upgrade. Obviously, they're not super complex if there's that many. And talents are the purple orb instead of a silver skill point or whatnot. So this will give you health insurance. I think they may have renamed some of these. I don't recall that name. But anyways, health insurance will increase the amount of health you get from orbs. You get some max HP bonuses. So 10% max HP if you max that out. 5% damage boost for both magic and physical attacks there. This is more general. If you wanted more specific, you could do this one, which would be 10% for just physical. Or that one, which would be 10% for just magic. Obviously, you can take both. Anyways, let's see here. What are some other things here? We've got some attack speed. Attack speed is useful, but I wouldn't bank on an entire build on it. It can be very handy for, say, a two-hander. It can be handy for a shadow clone build. But a lot of what you're probably going to be playing around with, at least for how the game wants you to play, is you're going to be looking to do snapcasts, which is where you perfect block with your shield, and the next ability you use is max charged. So if you block a perfect block with your shield and you have the gold level charge unlocked for a skill, you will instantly use a gold charge. So you can definitely spam abilities. That is still totally viable. But there are definitely some enemies where you're going to want to be snapcasting, so to say, over just simply doing regular spam. So attack speed could come into play just a little bit to help with just not feeling as slow with a heavy attack, or just kind of brawling here and there. Maybe a boss that you don't want to use certain skills against. You want to just kind of mash away. You got some status effects you can do. Burning chance. So it burns for like 3 seconds or something, and it deals your magic attack. You can slow enemies for 3 seconds. Deals, I think, a little bit of damage there. Can't remember. No, it doesn't have an info button. Backhander is actually, if you're going to do spam attacks, backhander is good. Every other strike gets a damage boost. So it's just kind of a, you're looking to always end on an even number, basically. Last Breath is your stereotypical low health brawler. When your HP is low, you get a bunch of damage. I would argue that that should be way higher. Usually is in a lot of games. Still can be very useful against a boss if you're really struggling and you're just getting really low. It can also be paired well with like the barrier spell, because your health is low, but you have a barrier. This is good for a brawler into caster. Every melee skill, or using a melee skill, not a melee attack, a melee skill will cause your spell to charge up faster. So, kind of more of a battle mage there. Second Wind grants you energy points so that you can use your abilities more often when you're using basic attacks to kind of regenerate them. Increases damage to enemies that have debuffs on them. So you've got these 2 debuffs, and you can just slap this on there too. This can be really good if you're fighting a lot of little enemies, especially when you're farming. 3 seconds after killing an enemy, your attack speed is increased by up to 30%. Linear gains on everything here. Combo starter. Every time you attack, you gain some crit chance with melee skills only. So if you're using a lot of skills and then just want to finish something off, you can do something like this. The Sudden Strike will gain damage per talent level as long as you're not using your basic attack. So this is more for basic attacks. This is more for not basic attacks. Obviously, you can pair these, so your first hit is good, your second hit is good. Riposte. You'll damage enemies when perfect guarding a melee attack. Arcane Charge. After using a spell, your attack becomes charged with your spell damage. Goes up to 45% of your spell damage. So this is good to especially use with either a sword or a wand, either way. Wands do scale off of the magic attack, I believe. Then this is your multi-elemental. Every time you use a magic spell, using a spell of another element costs a little bit less, up to, 35%. Energy is definitely something you want to be aware of. Everyone starts with 100. You can get more. But since you're leveling up these talents, you're not leveling up stats. This is not, say, Dark Souls or Diablo, where you're just pumping points into vitality or pumping points into energy or whatever. You do have to put points into these kind of abilities instead. Your pet will give the passive stats, though, but they are percentages. So if you were going a pet build, Arcane Collar is very useful, because while pets are active, they reduce your max EP. Increases the chance of applying debuff effects. For each enemy hit by a wand projectile, you recover EP. Your defense is increased while charging. So if you're not snap casting and you're charging a spell to start like a combo or start something up, you have some defense to restart that. Also kind of useful in a pet build, but specifically useful in a flamethrower build. You can definitely snapcast this, but if you wanted to start up the flamethrower, this is a really fun, just shoot fire out of your hands, basically, and while charging, you are slower, and you are quite vulnerable because you're slow. So there are items that can increase your movement speed while charging, or channeling, so to say. You've got a lot of different abilities. Very different, I guess. Static Touch is more for attacking. Frosty Friend turns into a larger snowman the bigger he gets. Ice Nova is good. I mean, everything's good, I guess. Fireball can be really good for more of a spamming build. The gold charge is still quite valuable, naturally. I feel like the game does have pretty good balance. It knows what it's trying to be. It knows how to be that. You've got some EP over here, so you can get 15 EP. Get some regen. Crit chance. So, crit chance can be very powerful because as you approach, 100% crit chance with some different things, it can really be beneficial with some of the skills and how they work. Hit critical damage, some arrow stuff, draw speed with the bow, and so you get a bow later on, relatively early on, actually. This is good. 10% chance to just not be hit. Very, very good if you're getting hit a lot, especially against some bosses. There are definitely some bosses that turn into bullet hells. It's not terrible bullet hells, but they can be a little bit rough if you're not used to that kind of gameplay. Steady defense, so you can charge up skills without getting knocked out of the charge. More defense when you're low health. So this is really useful for the utility spells, like the barrier increases their duration. You cast a lot of utility spells, they cost less. Movement speed while charging. So this is really helpful to kind of counteract that. Movement speed while shielding. Blocking attacks gives you EP. There are non-blockable attacks that will break your shield. So this is good, but not everything is perfectly capable of being blocked. Even things that you can perfect block most things, but if it breaks your shield, it breaks your shield. Perfect guard stuff. So this is great for snapcasting because a perfect guard or perfect block will allow you to snapcast the gold charge, and then this will make it also cost less. So if you're not running lots of energy, or you want to just preserve your energy because you've got summons going on or something else going on, Shadow Clone counts as a summon as well. And it's just because summons, they eat up a certain portion of your maximum EP. Increases the perfect guard activation window by quite a bit. 20% per talent level. I will typically take this in the late game if I'm struggling, especially because you will have so many points to just spend somewhere. Like, I'm level 6 already. We've barely started the game. We could put some points into that. Potions just auto refill. And you can get some different potions like Gold Find, or I think there's a potion where you cough arrows up. Kind of funny. Very useful if you're trying to go very heavy bow. The bow is more of a utility weapon for range. It's not meant to be probably entirely used, but enemies will just drop arrows if you're out, and then more arrows when you defeat the enemy, draw speed, and then there is a potion for finding arrows, and then you can make it work better. So that is the skill tree and the talent tree, or skill section and talent section, because they're not in a tree format. I should probably actually do something here. I'm going to go with some attack speed really early on here. Max that out. So we've got 110%. We are ready for the exam. Yes, there's fishing. Because of course there's fishing. Every game, especially an indie game, needs fishing. Keep the fish in the bar and you're good. Not too hard. Hooray, I got a fish. And that's literally the first challenge. So anyways, this is effectively a tutorial. Teaching you kind of how the game works. There are these puzzles, which will typically like open a door or give you a treasure chest when you line up the keyhole with the regular thing. And some puzzles are definitely harder than others. You've got these reset buttons over here. You stand on them, they rewind. Not too exciting here, but I like when games have things that are not just purely, how to say, combat oriented. It's nice to have puzzles and secrets and stuff. combat round. What the? I missed. So naturally using abilities is going to be better than not using them, but they are slower. And you eventually will use up your EP, especially for spamming. If you're charging, it'll be a little bit less because charge speed is slow. We leveled up. Wow. There we go. We got a snapcast in there. Now we have to deal with the Giga Slime. Wow, I missed. This is bad. I am bad at this game. I am bad at most games. You can mostly outrun this. If you're not getting absolutely crushed by the slime and being better than me at a intro tutorial boss, then good. This guy's going to give you the capacity to teleport around. Like waypoint kind of stuff. And if we go over here... So, this is your dad. He's a researcher, collecting artifacts and things from the past. Like, there's a teleport pad. This is not the room I thought it was. There's eventually a room where you can refight bosses, which also allows you to get their items. Basically grind them. We got a slime cube. I'm going to go to the crafting page here. We don't have enough slime or green goo here. This will create a slime hammer. Is it a bird? Is it a boat? No, it's not a boat. That's for sure. Do I have a better shield? I do not. Oh my gosh. I am not good at navigating this menu. We got 1 gold point here. We can do that. While in Berserker mode, you'll take more damage and deal more damage. Your energy meter will constantly deplete, and you will gain energy as you hit things. By hitting enemies, your melee skills and attacks, you will receive a temporary attack speed boost, which stacks up to a certain number. If you do not land an attack, you will lose that stack every second. Additionally, your basic attacks will recover energy points. Performing a perfect guard will halt the energy depletion for 1 second and refresh the buff timer. So this is a two-hander only ability. And you can eventually go all the way to become Death Incarnate if Death was Crazy Kid made of glass. 65% amplified damage from yourself to yourself, and your damage is also increased to 35%. So you get a ton of energy recovery, a ton of attack speed, a ton of crit. I don't think I've ever used it, so I'm going to try it out. This is my chance. Where's my crit chance? It's probably in the generic here. HP would be good too. You do gain health per level. You do not gain energy per level. I should probably just do damage, actually. There we go. We'll do damage and then we'll do something else. You can visit this guy. He will sell you back stuff that you've sold that is unique. So if you sell a... Go to map and open a portal. That's not what I want. I want to go there. So now we can do portals. Now you're thinking with portals. Anyways, there's your fast travel option. Go over here. We can buy some hats or something. So this one is surprisingly worse than the slime hat, straw hat. Obviously, these can every single item can be used as a cosmetic if it goes in that slot. So you've got some glasses that give magic attack. This green hair bow gives attack speed, gives energy, gives regular attack, and gives whatever. This gives 15 and that gives 10. Let's see. Do I want to buy that yet? Yeah. Now we got a bow in our hair. Don't we look cute? Now we've got some angry eyebrows. Oh, they're covered up by our regular hair. Too bad. Anyways. Let's remove that. We don't have any armor. We don't have any boots. We do have this critical chance here. So. I don't know how to inspect this. There we go. The Claymore does 45 bonus attack damage, whereas in the one-handed does 35, so it is only slightly stronger. But you do not sacrifice the use of a shield in this game. We spent all our money here. We could sell some stuff. So it is very useful to sell, say, like apples or something. You can use them later on. You can feed them to people. But it is common to own just a ton of small things for crafting. Like this. And now we've got some money. We want the green goo. Let's see what they got. So we already have the Squire Sword. There's the better shield. Quite a bit better shield. Some gloves for 1 defense for whatever reason. Some socks for 1 defense. A vest for 2 defense. Sandals for 2 defense. Not really sure what that's all about, to be honest. You got your robe of energy and your chainmail. These are more actual offensive stuff. This is more stylistic choices, I suppose. Well, I can't get a better two-hander. So just pointing out, the two-handed apprentice staff here, it has lower attack damage, but only a little bit lower. I mean, it's 25 damage lower, but still. And then it has an extra 27 magic bonus, which is massive in the early game, of course. And then the attack speed bonus is also very useful. So while it is different, it is magic-oriented, it is still quite good. So for the moment, I think I am literally just going to buy this pair of shoes, auto-equip them, and leave. Down here we get the potion guy. I believe he gives you your first potion. There we go. And then you can acquire different potions, or you can get more potions, but you can acquire quite a few. So this makes you cough up arrows. This turns you into a chicken. I actually don't know what the use of that is. Gives a lot of gold for 60 seconds, increases drop rate by 20% for 20 seconds. Increases crit for a little while. Damage for a while. Attack speed and cast speed for some time. Regen. And health. Naturally, I would suggest using a health potion. Well, that's it for this first video. I won't be doing every single piece of the game, but I'll be doing some highlights, boss battles, some different things, and talking about the mechanics of Secrets of Grindea. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe, YouTube.